Many characters died to bring us this information. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena story. We're doing the finale of this current 5v5 season, and I'm leaving out the 31.8 because, frankly, I played really poorly. You can go check out my fights. It probably might still be up on Twitch. I didn't, hide it or anything. I'm not hiding from it. I played poorly. I didn't prepare well, and my opponent played well. And I also got a couple poor turns of RNG, but I'm not going to make excuses. He just played better than me. There's just no question. But it was also fairly, it devolved into me testing random things, and it wasn't that interesting, in my opinion. And so we're going to talk about 31.9 instead, which is against a huge account. I think it's one of the top 70 accounts in the game. He's in one of the top PvP guilds in the game, and he turned it into an efficiency match. Here's the situation. We're facing Nority from Paw Patrol. Check out his GP, folks. A cool 1.1 million GP more than me, and that's all in really high, amazing relics. As you'll see, we're in top 100 right now, folks. We're gunning for top 50, or at least close to it. And you can see the mod, look at the 6 dot mods versus mine, just completely crazy. Everything really is just a significant advantage. I guess I have one more plus 25 speed, which is not that significant. Look at his datacrons though. Look at those datacrons. Whew! And then the relic levels, level 9, level 7, level 8, all of them, every single place I'm more than doubled. But we've got this to do. We're not making excuses, folks. I lost my last match to a similar sized account. We don't want the same thing to happen a second time in a row. Here's the defenses that I believe I placed. I think I made this before. I think this is the right one. I don't know. The problem with making these a couple weeks later is a lot of the screenshots kind of just fade into each other. I believe this is it. I was going to go in and take fresh ones because my defenses are still set this way, but all of the set 1 datacrons have evaporated. This is the last match using set 1, folks. You can see I put 3 GLs up front with Qui-Gon, and then AdRad and General Skywalker in the back with Malgus up top. And he ended up placing a defense that showed 0 Galactic Legends, and I know that this is something he does sometimes. He keeps all 6 Galactic Legends for offense and then places a bunch of teams that will steal banners, and then he's super efficient. Remember, this is top 100 we're talking about. This isn't your grandmother's GAC, folks. This is a very talented, very strong player with a crazy good account. Way good, really good mods, really strong datacrons, all the things that you kind of fear and dread, and he's bringing this against you. These teams will steal all your banners if you're not real careful. Up top, we have a split Malgus team. You can see the Malgus team is an amalgamation of a bunch of Sith, and then there's a Darth Maul team with Darth Revan and Basti, with crew in there and Darth Talon just to make them even faster. It's a formidable defense, folks, with all the right Omicrons, all the right Zetas, Datacrons. It's nothing to sneeze at, unless you have to sneeze, in which case I advise doing it. Don't think about it too hard, or you won't be able to. Before we jump into the fighting, folks, just want to remind you, if you want to help this channel for free, help support it, folks. Just hit that like button, subscribe, comment, help me mount the algorithm. You can do it too. We can all mount the damn thing. Why don't we? Let's just pull the trigger. Let's make it happen, folks. Let's get into the fighting, shall we? We're not gonna do a transition. We're just gonna jump right in. Whoa, madness. Are those Night Sisters facing CLS? Madness. Alright. So we got to take out this front zone first, and I have the Talzin Datacron with the Asajj Omicron, and He doesn't have C-3PO here, guys, so there's no exposed damage, which is really a big deal against this Commander Luke team. Also, I have decent potency, so I'm able to stun Chewie right away, which is really important here. We got to take Chewie out because he's providing guard. I know that Cara Dune can do some decent things, but she's more there to stop me from using Iden Versio, because Iden gets stunned by her and then this team can wreck you. Remember, this team does have a really good Datacron and is crazy well modded. However, without C-3PO here, it's really not that much. Keep in mind too, with Night Sisters here, once you take Chewie out and then I've stunned Chupio so that he doesn't do his AoE of instant destruction on us, then we're able to actually, because we're killing so many things, we're gaining a bunch of turn meter, or we're gaining a bunch of protection and health back. The Mass Assist from Talzin, remember we have the Datacron that helps us spam whatever ability is most convenient to us. We get a 74 to start with. Remember, we have to be crazy efficient because I suspected that my opponent does not have any Galactic Legends in the back. However, we don't want to assume that. My opponent is a wise and savvy player. He's going to sometimes try to trap me, and therefore we're going to have to use some off-meta stuff, such as General Grievous against Palpatine. Now, keep in mind, he put Juhani in here, which is actually kind of a subpar move, just in the sense that Juhani, whereas she is relict and really good, because he no doubt has the Juhani Omicron. The Juhani Omicron doesn't do anything in GAC, of course, though Starkiller has all of his Omicrons as well, so it kind of balances out. He just has crazy high relics, like 7 and 8 on everyone, and Juhani is really well modded. So now we're stuck behind Juhani because we weren't able to land the ability block on her yet. There we go, finally got it. And the momentum is kind of shifting to their side, though, folks. So remember, we're hitting characters with target lock. I made a mistake there with B1. I should have targeted someone who didn't have target lock when he did his AoE. He's the only target lock entrepreneur that you want on your team. Otherwise, you typically want everyone else to be targeting something that has target lock, just because B1 is assisting and giving you extra turn meter every single time you hit that target lock. Now, we took out Mara Jade, and then immediately the thing you have to balance here, folks, is making sure you have turns to be able to hit their you have to take out their Visas Mar, otherwise Visas Mar just revives instantly. And there were a couple moments here that it looked like the momentum was going to shift and they were going to take us out. Fortunately, we were able to make it work. Now with BB-8 here and dying, I mean, it's sad to see BB-8 dying. Of course it is. We never want to see that. Happy beeps, buddy, etc. Gosh, look at how much damage they did to us. We still, that was huge because it stole us back the momentum with Grievous. And so at the end of the day, Magniguard actually got the kill, which is really nice. Ended up dropping 5 banners there, so we've dropped 6 total in this zone, which isn't... The first one was fine. This one is a little scary. Now, this gets so dicey, folks. We're facing Sortie with Mon Mothma, and you can see my POW is already dead. Everyone else is on death's door. We are real close, because my team is not super well modded. And remember, this BB-8 team, or the Sortie team with BB-8 is starting at like 1,000 speed. And so I had to make a decision there, trying to figure out exactly what I should do. Should I revive or should I summon Worthless Guy? Because I have the good Datacron. And so with Kyle, I did a basic there just because I think because I wanted to give extra turn meter to POW. I think I should have done the cleanse move, honestly, just to get all the debuffs off of everyone. However, it could be that I just didn't want... I mean, BB-8 was going to hit me back anyway, so I'm not sure. That might have been a blunder a little bit, but... one way or another, alright, we got the momentum back. We're summoning Worthless Guy. Remember, we've got that cool Datacron that lets us keep spamming that. We'd get bonus turns every time Worthless Guy is not a full 3-star character. And then once he's there, remember, he's passively boosting all of our damage by a significant amount. And now he's even giving the armor penetration buff, and we can just take him out now. Someone, while I was while I was streaming, they were like, "Oh, you didn't have to worry about this. You can just hit under Sorty's health because you have riposte." But I don't have that on this account, on this Datacron. But we still got a 65. It was actually good that it took a while to take Sorty out because it was just really scary there for a minute. We wanted to get the max banners. Now, this one, I got a lot of questions about this. I get a lot of questions. Why do you take armor here? Well, first off, if you just take Sith Eternal, there's a possibility that Sith Eternal just dies. I've seen it happen a few times. You got to be careful. Second off, they say, well, it's worthless to take armor because General Skywalker goes and he's able to crit armor immediately, and then armor can't, it increases her cooldowns and she can't actually get a turn to put the Beskar armor on. And the thing is, he doesn't crit her because you put Link on him first, and as long as Sith Eternal, I had to do the math because they have a Datacron that made him crazy fast, made Rex really fast, and I was only a few speed actually faster than their Rex was, in which case they were right. Like, I wouldn't be able to get a crit, or I wouldn't be able to get a turn with Sith Eternal before armor went. However, I was faster with Sith Eternal, was able to link General Skywalker, and then I was able to therefore avoid the crit and get those stacks on. And the thing is, we're probably going to be safe, but look at how much damage they're able to do to my protection here. There's always the chance, especially against a really well-modded player, which, I mean, my opponent is a Relic 8 Rex. He's going to be well modded. And there's always a chance that he can do enough damage. This is a really strange counter in the sense that you don't need the ultimate on Sith Eternal for this to work. You do need a well-constructed Sith Eternal, which means decent speed and especially really high health pool. But General Skywalker doesn't have any protection, and we can just take him out, and in fact we got our full health and protection banners back because we were able to work in conjunction with that armor stack of Beskar. So we got a 65 in the back. There are no GLs, though there is a really good Qui-Gon team, a really good Stun Kron Grand Inquisitor team. But first, let's take out this Malgus if we can with Rey. And remember, we have a high win rate against Malgus, and this is an inferior version of Malgus as well, because it doesn't have the full Sith Empire. It doesn't have Darth Revan. It doesn't have Talon. There's a lot of stuff that it doesn't have. So we actually took out Red Trooper there pretty quick and easy. That was nice. I guess we'll just do a whirlwind and try to chop Malak down. Didn't quite work. And so now I'm just hitting Malgus. The thing is, we're just trying to keep max protection if we can. We want to keep that protection up because we're pinching banners, folks. We need those high banners if at all possible. Now, if it's possible also to take out Darth Malak before we hit with our ult, that would be wonderful. Didn't quite manage it, of course, but we kill all the ads besides Darth Malgus, and hopefully we can just take him out soon. I don't know. We've got to figure this out. I was trying to heal up Rey here. I'm kind of confused of what to do. Should I just wait for a whirlwind? Should I wait for our ult? What's going to be the best option? Because really, Malgus does enough damage that we're probably going to be susceptible to him doing some crazy damage. So we gotta have Rey use her lifeblood sometimes, at least, in order to keep him away from just one-shotting our characters. But at the same time, I mean, it's just a tricky situation. So we're nowhere close to being able to heal Rey up, and she's going to get her ult and take Malgus out. We didn't have any health steal on her, though, so 64 banners. And, alright, we got through it. Remember, this is with the really good, heavy damage Kron there. Now, this one gets a little tense as well. Bad Batch is usually a lock to get max banners against Raddus. However, you really want to avoid that ability block on Echo right away. And so, we're kind of going to problem solve a little bit here. What I should have probably done was have Tech just dispel that ability block on Echo so that next time he goes, he can dispel the buffs which of course they're going to get a bunch of buffs back anyways once that happens, but 2 turns of ability block on Echo is less than ideal. We really need Echo to start so that we can start stunning them and doing our horrible things to them. We want daze on them, for instance. Don't want Raddus to get his ult, because then we get damage immunity and probably die. And of course they have a faster datacron than me. I did my math poorly, I believe. I think that they went first, despite me thinking I would actually get first turn. So that was a little embarrassing. Egg on my face, etc. Okay, finally, ability block is gone, and we can begin, because they have healing immunity, even though look at all those buffs they have. That's from the Omicron on Raddus. The Omicron is going to, I mean, obviously the Omicron helps them regain all those buffs when they lose their rebel buff, whatever it's called. And otherwise you kill Raddus first, or AdRad first, and then you take out Jin. Anyway, 65. Once we have the bit in our mouths with Echo, like everything's good. Everything's good. Now there's this Shaak T squad with their Bad Batch, which I always love it when people do this. Originally, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just take out Shaak T. I didn't realize that she had the damage immunity on the get-go. So let's take out Echo first, because Echo's kind of the scary one. We've got the full Commander Luke team, of course, and now we'll switch stances because we have the Datacron on Commander Luke for when he switches stances. Whenever we take a turn, we're able to assist and everything. Look at all the target lock we have. The only character that does target lock is Tech on his basic, so it's kind of an interesting situation here. And we're just we want to heal up as much as we can. And obviously, it looks like Chewie doesn't have full health and protection, so we dropped another banner. But so far, we've been decently efficient. We dropped those 5 on General Grievous against Starkiller, but otherwise, we've been doing okay. There's a Jedi Training Raid team in the back with Nest and no BB-8 or anything. We already had to take BB-8 out with that sortie team, if you remember. And Iden is the woman for the job here, folks. There's just, I mean, they gain so much of everything that we want using Iden. Like, Nest is a little bit scary, of course, sometimes, just because she can daze us, and she's going to ramp up her damage quite a bit because we have so many buffs. However, we also have a lot of good things that we can, I mean, gosh, we can't take out this Rey, man. She is crazy. She puts the Rey in crazy. So we got the stun on Nest. Probably want to put some potency on your Iden, folks. It's helpful in situations like these. All right, we got Death Mark. So when Nest comes out, she's got healing immunity. Hopefully we can just take her out. And indeed, we threw a grenade at her for some reason and still took her out. 65 banners. We're just going, and my opponent actually attacked a little bit while we were going. I don't know if I show any of the results or anything, but he's being very, very efficient. In fact, the front zone with my 3 Galactic Legends and Qui-Gon, my award-winning Qui-Gon Jinn team, he ended up taking out for more banners than I took out his front zone. Very, very worrisome. So we're just taking out, this is a Darth Revan team disguised as a Darth Maul team. And of course, Crew is sticking out because he's not a Sith, so he's going to be taunting Relic 9. Of course he is, because why wouldn't he be? And we're taking Basti lead because it helps us survive all of the initial crazy damage that they can do. And, you know, remember, it's tough to crit. I forget all the rules about critting with Darth Maul, but, you know, they're going in and out of stealth when we crit, when we don't crit. He's doing things that I never dreamed of. Actually, I probably did dream of it. It was just like a really underwhelming dream. You know what I'm saying? But one way or another, I mean, it's like, why should we swing at Basti? She's got foresight. We don't have to deal with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, I mean, we can't stun her because Darth Revan's here. And look at that. Darth Revan actually got fear off on everyone, which is scary. Things aren't going swimmingly, folks. I did want to make sure I could crit here, though. So I put, even though I knew it couldn't stun many of them, I still did the AoE stun from Luke just because we want to be able to auto crit them with the, is it called Vengeance? Whatever that debuff is called. We got it. Let's heal Basti a little bit, I guess. And I don't think we saved as many banners as I was hoping for, but 62, walking away with a win there. pretty good. You can see, look at that, you got a 508 on my front zone, folks. So I think we ended up with a 504 or something. Both of them very, very good. And so I look back here, and nothing. Nothing so far. He's not attacking yet. And not on the top zone either. So let's use Starkiller here. Now, he had a really good stun cron, really good Inquisitors team with high relics. You can see 7 Sisters, relic 7. She might be the lowest relic, I'm not sure. And so I'm trying to figure out the best thing. The thing is, with Starkiller, you can't be stunned. And so I wanted to set that kind of, I don't know, precedent is kind of a weird way to say it. But yeah, relic 9 on 9th Sister. This is really tough. We want to be able to just take all the turns. So the second they start getting a ton of debuffs is the second we start dropping a ton of banners, which is really unhealthy and potentially really dangerous to be able to beat this team. Remember, well, I don't know, I guess you guys might not have seen my most recent Galactic Legend unlock video about, you know, like which characters should we be unlocking first. But one of the things that I said was Grand Inquisitor teams, especially the teams that are well modded and have high relics, are all, like, they're really scary. We're stunning 5th Brother there because he has Retribution. We don't want him to hit us back. And like, these teams are really scary. We're trying to hit those staggers, guys, so they lose all their turn meter. And, you know, and stun do the 2-turn stun when we can as well, doing the AoE. But okay, finally we get the Star Destroyer of Healing. And it's none too soon. Poor old Plo Koon, man. He almost bit the dust. It was almost like he was in his Starfighter and the clones were behind him, if you take my meaning. So we finally got through it, but a well-modded Grand Inquisitor team is nothing to scoff at, folks. It really isn't. It's a little underwhelming compared to what we kind of wanted and envisioned, but at the end of the day, it's still a very good team. Now, remember, some people were saying like while they were watching it live, that I should just use only Supreme Leader Kylo, but that actually loses sometimes in this comp. Even though he negates Qui-Gon Jinn's awesome Omicron, they just do so much damage and they have so much foresight and, you know, like Ki-Adi-Mundi is like a second lead anyways, and plus they still get the Qui-Gon lead, they just don't get it with the Omicron. And so I wanted to negate their turn meter gain because it was going to be crazy anyway. So I took Hux, and then I took Crew so we could take some damage. And then we only ended up dropping 2 banners anyways, which is a 65. All right, so we got to fleets. We got 1,400. And he's got 3 reinforcements here. He's got the traditional fleet, which means we can do a very rare, this might be the first this season, Finalizer versus Executor comp. Now note the poor echelon relic 10, or sorry, relic 8, I apologize, on First Order Officer, traditionally, quote unquote, should not die in that situation. I mean, it happens, obviously, and I'm not making excuses here, just pointing out that he got the good roll, and that's hugely detrimental to our potential long-term success against his fleet. So just trying to problem solve here. Wanted to get the stun on Houndstooth. Didn't work. And we have Sunfac available. I decided to use Special Forces here because there's 2 chances to stop Houndstooth. Remember, this whole fight revolves around Houndstooth being controlled. You want to be able to ability block or stun him before he takes a turn. Now, he did get that Sith Bomber in, and we're all going to be dazed for a while. We don't have a way to cleanse that, which isn't wonderful. However, we did manage to get the ability block and stun on Houndstooth when Special Forces TIE Pilot came in. I'd like to take Special Forces so you have a double opportunity to either ability block, or if Houndstooth is at 50% or more turn meter, you can stun with Silencer on basic. That's when I like to take in Special Forces TIE Pilot as reinforcement instead of Sunfac. Now, Sunfac can come in and auto stun this character, and look at that, we got the stun on Slave 1, which feels good, man. And we got the stun on the Mando ship, took out Slave 1, and it's looking decent at this point. Of course, they did the AoE just to F you, just to tell me to F off. And, oh, look at that, IG-2000 is here. Let's, so I decided, instead of reinforcing, let's just stun this guy if we can. And I don't know if we managed it or not. That kind of went too fast for me to be able to watch. But all right, 64. That was actually the worst banner dropping we've done so far. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuns. A lot of. I think we dropped 9 total banners. It's for an efficiency match, guys. 9 feels pretty bad. All right, he kept attacking, but we gotta keep going. Gotta keep moving. So we're using Negotiator mirror match here, and what I decided to do, what I've been doing lately is just trying to focus down Ahsoka and just take her out. But what I decided to do here, and I'm thinking a long time, trying to figure it out, is we want to just keep Anakin in, like, out of stealth. You know, we wanna facilitate that. And gosh, okay, so we can now he's at half health. We may as well just hit Ahsoka, I thought, maybe. But then if we do the special on Anakin, we can get that buff immunity, which is super nice, actually. Look at how close we are to taking him out. And then of course they put the loyalty buff on him, damn it all. Do the AoE though and take it off again. He's got buff immunity, so he can't go into stealth, and able to finish him off. So now we've got to do a holding pattern, try to maintain as many banners as we can, because we haven't lost anyone yet, and that feels good, man. Feels good. So I decided here, they haven't done their AoE yet. Decided to get the passive dispel with Ahsoka on their Ahsoka, and then one shot their Plo, which that felt good. And then of course they did their AoE and everyone's dazed, and that doesn't feel good. Everything is scary. Let's try to take out their Ahsoka. Look at that, she got a turn before we could take her out because everything is relic 8 on this account. It's crazy, but we're doing okay. We lost TIE Fighter pilot, but screw that guy, right? Am I right, folks? Even if I'm not, don't tell me. I'm not interested in hearing otherwise. Let's just do the AoE. Try to finish this off. Good. 68. All right. We still dropped, what, 5 banners there? So Fleet so far has been somewhat unkind to us. Now let's try to control things. It's really important there, folks. We did some damage to their Falcon, and then their tower ship taunted, whatever it's called, their fortress. And you don't want to do the wiggle with your Falcon in that instance, because then their Falcon gets to do the wiggle. Like they have loaded turn meter, and they get to go first. And they do their little wiggle spin thing. Wiggle spin thing, gosh. That's a great description. But we want to do target lock. That's why we targeted Biston, so that we can heal the protection on Biggs there. But we did the AoE with the Falcon, and that gave us the opportunity to take out their Falcon first. So there we go, 1830, probably the best score I've gotten in many, many seasons. Like, we only dropped a total of 23 banners for the entire fight. 23, so if he fails even once, we get to win. However, he is a crazy efficient player, and he's dropped almost no banners at this point, folks. He is on a tear. We only have 4 teams remaining. So the question is, how are we going to do? Let's go and find out, shall we? Whoa, we're in the intro slideshow madness. All right, without further ado, apparently, he did fail on my Raddus team, of all teams. Crazy, just total madness. Everything else, he one-shot for crazy good banners. Remember, he has 6 Galactic Legends on offense and a lot of other good teams. The final results after fleets, I ended up beating him by 9, so I needed him to fail. If he hadn't dropped that 20 on Raddus, he would have ended up with an 1841. He would have won by 11, assuming he had gotten full banners on Raddus. But that's pretty good, folks. I mean, he probably had the right teams. He just had one little misstep on Raddus, and we were able... We didn't have any missteps this time. Nothing too crazy. Like a couple miscues, but overall, one of the most efficient matches I've ever played. We came real close to losing it because my opponent is a fantastic player and has a fantastic account. So, final thoughts, folks. Who knew I could be that efficient? Crazy. I don't know. That was just madness. AdRad got so many holds for me this season. It is crazy. And we went 7-2. We'll end up in the top 50-ish this season. We still don't know because leaderboards are messed up and CG doesn't know what's going on. So 3v3 in the top 50, once again, for the third season in a row, is going to be interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.